Level 1, the bird suit mascot. The future Hall of Famer is 15 and has never played a down of organized football in his life. Runs about a 6'1" 40, which is slower than most offensive linemen. Could not tell you what a cover 2 is. Does not own cleats. The only reason he is standing on this field is because a kid named Marcus sat down at his lunch table and lied. Said someone got hurt on the team. They need a body. Sarah's gonna be there. Sarah is the crush. You show up in your cousin's soccer cleats, and the injured player turns out to be the mascot. Not a starter. Not a backup. The bird suit. Marcus put you in a foam eagle head in front of Ridgewood High and had it on Snapchat before halftime. 400 views. Your crush is in row 3. She is laughing. Not with you. Halftime, week 7. A kid from the other team catches the ball and starts running toward the end zone. He has passed everyone. Nobody is going to stop him. Sarah is still in row 3. You do not make decisions with your brain at 15. You sprint 3 steps and tackle him so hard that the entire sideline goes quiet. A mascot just made the hit of the game. The refs look at each other. There is no rule for this. Nobody thought to write one. Coach Vickers sees the whole thing from the press box. Monday morning, a handwritten note in your locker. Tryouts. Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. From V, that is the entire message. A time and an initial. Level 2. High school player. Coach Vickers puts you at safety because you hit with your whole body and you are too slow for corner, too light for linebacker, and too unhinged for the offensive side of the ball. Safety is where football puts people it has not finished categorizing. We can teach technique, he says. We can't teach mean. You will spend 2 years deciding whether that was a compliment. Marcus transferred before junior year chasing bigger lights and louder crowds. A kid named Deshaun sits in the press box with a laptop and glasses that are always crooked on one side. Hip condition ended his career before it started. He knows more football than anyone in the building, and nobody listens because he weighs 140 pounds, and his voice has not committed to a register. After your third practice, he says the sentence that will determine the outcome of a Super Bowl in front of 70 million people. Stop watching the ball. Watch the eyes. You nod. You do not understand. It does not matter yet. You keep the mascot head in your closet. It is the reason you do not quit. Your mom packs a sandwich before your first JV game. Turkey and American cheese on white bread, too much mustard, brown paper bag, your name on the outside written in the car. 1 letter wrong. She will pack this sandwich before every game for 16 years. The spelling will never be correct. You will never correct her. Junior year. First varsity start at free safety. A crossing route, and for the first time you watch the quarterback's eyes instead of the receiver's hips. They go left. You break left. Interception. You do not celebrate. You are genuinely surprised it worked. Senior year, rivalry game. Marcus arrives with his cousin and a gimbal. He catches 6 for 104 and celebrates each one by pointing at the defender he just beat. Not the end zone. The person. Last drive, his team up 4, you read the quarterback's eyes and jump Marcus's slant before he plants his foot. Interception at your own 30. Your offense cannot convert. You lose by 4. Post-game, Marcus leans in close. You play angry. That's cute. Then louder for the phone's recording. Nah, 52 is tough. That night he posts a TikTok ranking every DB who covered him this season. You are 4th of 5. Caption. Effort was there. A scout from Iowa State was in the press box. Not for Marcus, USC locked him in October. Your coach forwards the email with the subject line, "Is this legit?" It sits between a fantasy football waiver notification and a Canvas reminder for a history essay you will never write. That email is the first step toward the NFL. Right now, Marcus does not know it exists, which means for the first time in your life, you have something he does not. Level 3. College player. The partial scholarship is worth $11,000 a year. A full ride at a Power 5 program is worth $62,000. Marcus commits to USC on Instagram Live in front of 22,000 viewers and ranks the schools that recruited him worst to best, roasting each one. He calls Iowa State a farm with a football problem. Your commitment post gets 47 likes. Your aunt comments, "Go Hawks." Iowa State is the Cyclones. First Big 12 game. A senior receiver from Oklahoma State runs a double move so clean you look like you are trying to hail a taxi on a freeway. Burned for 62 yards and a touchdown. The DB coach says, "Big 12 speed is different. in a tone that makes you consider switching to club rugby and pretending this semester did not happen. 1.1 million high school players, 256 get drafted. You just got burned by a receiver who will never play on Sundays. Sophomore year. Deshaun's sentence lands years late the way all real advice works. It sounds like nothing until the moment it sounds like everything. You stop reacting to the receiver after the snap and start reading the quarterback before it. Film study goes from 8 hours a week to 35. Your roommate, a walk-on kicker from Davenport, asks if you need professional help. You are not fine. The DB coach moves you to corner because your hips are faster now and your eyes were always ahead of everyone else's. You are becoming the reason offensive coordinators install a check down they did not used to need. Junior year. 5 interceptions, all Big 12. Opposing quarterbacks stop throwing to your side. Your best games are statistically invisible 0 targets, means you did your job perfectly and nobody will ever make a highlight of it. The thing that makes you elite is the same thing that makes you disappear on film. ESPN runs a sidebar. Iowa State's no-fly zone. They do not use your name. They use the scheme. The technique you are building will one day intercept a pass in a Super Bowl with 28 seconds left. Right now, it is erasing you from the stat sheet. Marcus gets suspended at USC for filming a walk-on struggling with a bench press and captioning it, "When the Make-A-Wish kid tries to lift." He misses 2 games and gains 200,000 followers. Attention is attention. You declare for the draft. Your mom packs the last college sandwich. Same turkey, same cheese, same mustard, same wrong letter. Your dad drives 11 hours to watch the bowl game and says afterward, "We should look at the insurance options before we talk to an agent." That is who he is. You love him for it. You also want to scream into something soft. But there is no time for screaming because 330 strangers with clipboards are about to measure your hands. Level 4. NFL prospect. Lucas Oil Stadium. A trainer grips your hand and spreads your fingers across a ruler. 9.5 inches. He writes it down without looking at your face. You are a collection of measurables now. Wingspan, shuttle, vertical, the system has stripped the game down to body parts in tenths of seconds and none of it captures what makes you different. There is no column on the spreadsheet for that. Combine. You run a 4.4840. Marcus runs a 4.40, shirtless. Because a camera is within 50 yards and removing his shirt near cameras is his actual superpower. ESPN projects him top 8. You are a day 3 prospect, which means rounds 4 through 7, which means the difference between you and Marcus is $27 million in guaranteed money. That gap is not about football. It is about the confidence of strangers. Pre-draft meeting with Tennessee. The defensive coordinator shows you film on a tablet and says, "Tell me what you see." You call out 3 coverage busts, a disguised blitz, and a safety rotation the DC did not notice until you pointed it out. He pauses the film, looks at the general manager. The GM writes something on a legal pad. You will not find out until 3 years later at a team dinner that this meeting is the reason they drafted you. By then you have forgotten the meeting entirely. He has not. Draft night. Your parents' living room. Your mom created a Facebook event called Draft Day with a football emoji. 4 RSVPs. 2 are aunts who think a draft pick is something you do at a bar. Your dad bought a sheet cake from Walmart that says your name, but the bakery squeezed the letters and the last 2 got cut off. Your uncle keeps switching between ESPN and a bass fishing tournament. Marcus goes 7th overall to the Dallas Cowboys. Green room, custom suit, handshake with Jerry Jones, graphic package on every platform in 6 minutes. 1.4 million likes before your uncle finds the right channel. You go 156th, 5th round. Your mom screams. Your dad stands up, does not know what to do with his body, shakes your hand, hugs you, does both again in a different order. The aunt who does not watch football says, "So do you play tomorrow?" Your mom says, "He plays in the NFL," with a seismic intensity that implies the next person who asks a follow-up will not be offered cake. Signing bonus, $205,000. Marcus, $29.4 million, fully guaranteed. Same draft, same year, same size football. The Titans post your signing on Instagram. They use a combine photo where you look like you just received difficult news from your dentist. Your name is spelled correctly for the first time in your public life. It feels like someone else's. Level 5. Rookie. Your locker is a folding chair next to the janitor's closet. Your nameplate is a strip of athletic tape with Sharpie that is already peeling at the corners. You are the 14th defensive back on a roster that keeps 10. The math is not in your favor. The math has never been in your favor. Marcus posted a time-lapse of his Cowboys locker installation custom carpet, LED underlighting engraved nameplate. 2 million views. His locker has its own content strategy. Yours shares a wall with mop storage. Preseason week 3. The first cut drops the roster from 90 to 75. 15 players clear out their lockers before lunch. By the time the roster hits 53, you have watched 26 people leave. You touch your printed nameplate once when no one is looking. Because the last version was peeling tape and the one before that was a mascot suit, and you are not fully convinced this one will be here Monday. 6 weeks on the inactive list. You dress for games and stand on the sideline in a cap that does not say champions. Week 7, you get your chance. 3rd and 8 against the Colts. The quarterback looks left and you read it before the ball moves. You break on the out route, bat the pass down, force a punt. The defensive coordinator nods from the booth. Nobody writes about it. Nobody will ever write about it. Cornerbacks exist in the negative space of someone else's stat line. Your best play is a pass that did not happen, a catch that was not made, a name that does not appear in a box score. You are paid to be invisible. That used to be the problem. Now it is the job description. Your mom mails the sandwich for your first NFL game. Turkey, American cheese, too much mustard, brown bag, name wrong. Same letter. It arrives 2 days late. The bread is stale. The mustard has soaked through the paper. It is inedible. You keep the bag. It sits on your locker shelf next to the tape nameplate. 2 versions of your name, both wrong. Both the most important things in a building full of men being paid millions of dollars to be correct. First NFL game check. $4,800 after taxes. You sit in the Nissan Stadium parking garage with the engine running for 6 minutes because you do not know what to do with the distance between this moment and a foam eagle head. The lights in the garage buzz at a frequency that makes everything feel temporary. Whether that is the ceiling or the floor depends on something you have not been tested on yet. Level 6. Starter. Week 5, Year 2. The starting corner's Achilles tears in the second quarter. You hear it from the bench, a sound like a rubber band snapping inside a towel. The coach looks down the sideline, past 2 players who have been here longer, and lands on you. Not because you are the best option, because you are the cheapest mistake if it does not work. First start, you shadow a Pro Bowl receiver and hold him to 3 catches for 28 yards. The headline: Pro Bowler has quiet night against Tennessee. Your best game is someone else's bad day. Your name does not appear in the article. His appears 4 times. 12 straight starts. 71 tackles, 2 interceptions, 9 passes defended. Your hip starts clicking. Not pain, a sound, like a door hinge in a house nobody has maintained. The team doctor uses the word degenerative the way a barista says oat milk, casually, like it is not going to restructure the rest of your life. You are 24 and your hip makes a sound your grandfather would recognize. You ice 40 minutes after every game. The machine hums at a frequency you hear when you are trying to sleep. You are 24 on the field and 41 in the parking lot. Titans versus Cowboys. Sunday Night Football. 78 million viewers. You line up across from Marcus for the first time since high school. He is wearing custom cleats with his own logo. You are wearing Tame-issued Nikes in a colorway you did not choose. He catches 7 for 118. One is a one-handed grab. The broadcast replays 6 times. You hold him to 11 yards in the entire second half. That statistic does not exist on any graphic or post-game tweet. A reporter asks Marcus about the coverage. Their DB? He's solid. Good tackler. It is the professional-grade version of cute, delivered to 78 million people. You sit in the Nissan Stadium tunnel until the lights click off. The tunnel is where you feel things now. Monday. The defensive coordinator pulls you into his office. You held a $30 million receiver to 11 yards in the second half, and nobody noticed. That is the job. If they are talking about you, something went wrong. That is the most honest sentence a coach has ever said to you. It is also the reason defensive backs do not get billboard campaigns. Your agent calls. Extension offer. 3 years, $42 million. You ask about the guaranteed money. $18 million. You ask about the injury clause. The pause before the answer is the answer. $42 million and your hip is already clicking, and there is not a single line in the contract that protects the part of you that is slowly becoming someone else's problem. Your dad would call this a depreciating asset with a service agreement. Your dad would be right. Level 7. Pro Bowler. Year 5. 6 interceptions, 14 passes defended. All-Pro second team. You find out about the Pro Bowl selection from a push notification on your phone while standing meccan. While standing in a CVS holding a tube of Bengay and a bag of trail mix at 10:15 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Defensive players do not get commissioner phone calls. They get alerts between the ibuprofen aisle and checkout. You buy the Bengay. You drive home. That is what vindication looks like when nobody is filming. Nike calls your agent. $30 million over 5 years. Their exact words after the draft were, "We love the tape, but the defensive back market is limited." Limited. Your entire position is a market limitation. Adidas said yes for $3 million when you were a third-year starter nobody outside Tennessee had heard of. Now Nike wants the version that made them look wrong. You stay with Adidas. Your agent says you are leaving $27 million on the table. You say they did not want you when finding you was the hard part. That is not loyalty. That is a receipt. Adidas builds the shoe. They put an eye motif on the heel, a reference to the way you play. To a sentence a 15-year-old kid with crooked glasses said in a press box that nobody took seriously. It retails for $140. Your name is on the box. Your mom buys 8 pairs and stores 6 in the original packaging because they'll be worth something. They already are. Pro Bowl. Orlando. You and Marcus on the same sideline for the first time. He daps you up. "We made it, bro." We. As if your paths were parallel. Fourth quarter, a receiver runs a deep post. You read his eyes and pick it off. The crowd barely reacts. It is the exact red Deshaun showed you 9 years ago. That red is 3 games away from being worth a Super Bowl ring. Right now, it is worth a polite golf clap in Orlando. Playoffs. Divisional round. 2 interceptions, 1 return 40 yards. Conference championship against San Francisco. Third quarter, your hip does not click. It locks. Like someone welded the joint mid-stride. You stay in because available is the only word that keeps a contract valid when the guaranteed money runs out after next season. The team doctor asks if you want to come out. You do not answer. He does not ask again. You win by 6. The Super Bowl is set. Tennessee Titans versus Dallas Cowboys. You versus Marcus. Every network writes the same sentence for 3 weeks. They do not mention the mascot head. They do not know about it yet. Level 8. Champion. Super Bowl morning. SoFi Stadium. Your hip is wrong. Not the clicking. Not the locking. The absence of Boethit has moved past complaining and into the silence that means the body has accepted something the brain has not. The team doctor rotates your leg and makes a face you have seen once before on a vet examining your childhood dog before saying the word options. He says he can give you something, but you need to sign a waiver. You sign without reading. That is what a Super Bowl does to informed consent. Your mom calls at 6:48 a.m. Pacific. You do not pick up. She does not leave the usual message. This time she says one sentence. "I packed you a sandwich. It's in your bag." You check. Brown bag. Turkey. American cheese. Too much mustard. Name wrong. Same letter. 16 years. You hold the bag for 3 seconds and put it back. You do not eat it. You will not eat it. It will be in your locker 3 days from now when the equipment staff cleans out the stalls. You cannot explain why keeping it matters more than eating it. Fourth quarter. You have 8 tackles, a pass breakup, and a hip held together by whatever you signed for at 7 a.m. Marcus has 8 catches for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns on 12 targets. He is having the best game of his life. His roots are the same ones he ran in high school. On Sunday Night Football, on the sideline where he put the foam head on his own face for a Snapchat story. Same roots at every level. They still work because Marcus has never needed to change. You have changed at every level. That is the difference. Neither version is wrong. One of them is about to win. Cowboys drive. 1 play, 2 plays, 3. The clock bleeds. 28 seconds left. Down 3. Cowboys on the Titans 38. Marcus lines up wide left. The quarterback drops back and his eyes go to Marcus a half second before his shoulders follow. You are not watching Marcus. You are not watching the ball. You are watching the quarterback's eyes. You break on the route before Marcus plants his foot. Deshaun's sentence arrives 16 years late, which is exactly on time. Interception. Yours. You return it past midfield to the Cowboys' 27. Your kicker hits from 44 yards. Game over. Confetti. Someone puts a hat on your head that says champions. The brim sits on a cut above your eye that has been bleeding since the second quarter. That is what winning looks like. Marcus finds you on the field. Helmet off. He looks at you. No speech. No compliment. No, you got me. He nods. Once. Less than a second. Then he walks to the tunnel without turning around. The nod is the first thing Marcus has ever communicated to you without an audience, a camera, or a punchline. You do not tell anyone about it. That is how you know what it means. Level 9. Retired legend. The hip does not click anymore. It does not lock. It simply stops, mid-practice, year 12, like a machine that ran out of warranty 3 seasons ago and finally read the fine print. The team doctor says the word done, and it does not sound like a diagnosis. It sounds like a court ruling. You are 33. The average NFL career lasts 3.3 years. Yours lasted 12. Nobody prepares you for what happens when the noise stops. 3 bedrooms, 1 used. The hip aches when you stand. It is not a complaint. It is a receipt. Hall of Fame, Canton, Ohio. They mispronounce your name on the first attempt, then correct it. You hear both versions and decide the wrong one is funnier. 2 misspellings and a mispronunciation. You have never had a fully correct version of your own identity in public circulation? And somehow you are in the Hall of Fame. Your mom is in the front row. She is holding a brown paper bag. Turkey and American cheese on white bread with too much mustard. Your name on the outside. Wrong. Same letter. Same handwriting from the car. 16 years. You see it from the podium and you stop talking for 4 seconds because if you do not stop, you will not be able to continue. The crowd thinks you are collecting yourself. You are not collecting yourself. You are trying not to cry about a sandwich. It is the funniest and most devastating 4 seconds of television anyone in the room has ever seen, and only you and your mother know why. You mentioned Deshaun. He is in row 12. Still the smartest person in any building he enters. He is crying. You are too. Marcus is on ESPN now. Analyst. Not because he wanted to be. 2 divorces, a car collection he could not sell fast enough, and a financial advisor who stopped returning calls the standard NFL retirement package. He needed the check. He is still comfortable in a suit. That has always been the problem. He calls you the smartest defensive back of his generation on air. Not the best, the smartest. You text him afterward. He never responds. That is the most honest thing Marcus has ever said about you. He said it to 4 million people and could not say it to one. You drive to the Ridgewood field. Turf now, no dirt. A mural of you on the fieldhouse wall wearing the Adidas with the eye on the heel. Not whatever you wore in high school. Someone painted your origin story and got the shoes wrong. You do not correct it. The mural is for them. A kid on the practice field. Cheap cleats. He is watching the wide receivers, but his eyes keep drifting to the defensive backs. You walk over. Stop watching the ball. Watch the eyes. He runs 3 reps and jumps a route he was not supposed to read. He looks at you like you just handed him a cheat code to a game he did not know had one. The glass case in your hallway. Super Bowl ring. Defensive MVP trophy. The Adidas with the eye motif on the heel. And in the center, the mascot head. Same foam eagle Marcus put on his own face for a Snapchat story when you were 15. It is the reason everything else is there. If this one stayed with you, leave a thought below. Subscribe for more.